Good morning,
Good morning.
Unity family. All right, what a beautiful day. It's a little chilly, right? But isn't it beautiful? Isn't it beautiful? All right. All right, let's sing our first song together.
Oh, yeah, 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 yeah.
Oh, yeah, 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 yeah.
Oh, yeah, 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 yeah.
Oh, yeah, 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 yeah.
The Spirit of God is all that I am now.
The Spirit of God is all that I am now.
Don't worry about me now, I am all right.
Don't worry about me now, I am all right.
That body I had, let it fade into the light.
The body I had, let it fade into the light.
I am more than flesh, I am more than time.
I'm more than flesh, I am more than time.
We are more than flesh, we are more than time.
We are more than flesh, we are more than time.
No, I could not do what I could not see.
No, I could not do what I could not see.
Lift up my name for what I tried to be.
Lift up my name for what I try to be. All right, now is the time in the service where we get to turn and greet our neighbors with that friendly handshake, bow, or a hug. And please repeat to them the divinity salute. The divine in me greets the divine in you. And we serve and celebrate together for the glory of God.
Don't worry about me, now I am alright.
Don't worry about me, now I am all
That
right.
body I had, let it fade into the light.
Don't worry, I had, let it fade into the light.
The Spirit of God is all that I am now.
The Spirit of God is all that I am now.
The Spirit of God is all that we are now.
The Spirit of God is all that we are now.
If I could not do what I could not see,
If I could not do what I could not see,
lift up my name for what I tried to be.
lift up my name for what I try to be.
Don't worry about me, now I am alright.
Don't worry about me, now I am all right.
That body I had, let it fade into the light.
The body I had, let it fade into the
The
light.
Spirit of God is all that I am now.
The Spirit of God is all that I am now.
Good morning. Good morning, Unity Renaissance. How are you today? Let me behold the beauty of God as I say hello. Hello, everybody online. Welcome. Welcome, everyone who has shown up. My name's Reverend René, and I am so very grateful. It's a privilege and honor to be the senior minister of this beloved community, Unity Renaissance. And so I'm going to invite you to take a breath with me. Imagine that. And that as we take that breath together, we may allow the body eyes to close for a moment. We may touch the heart, tap the shoulder, but in some way, we wake ourselves up to the divine emanation of spirit that we are, and we breathe that in. That's what we do every time we take that pause, every time we take that breath. Every time we do that, we awaken. We awaken to who we are as spirit, what we are as Christ, and how we serve as love. And so as we do this, I'm going to invite you then to imagine that the body eyes now are illuminated from a light within And it illuminates upon every person here. And so I'm going to invite you to turn around and give a wink, a nod, a recognition to the beloved presence that is around you. That this is a holy and sacred gathering, and we even give our energy to those who have joined us online. We say hello, welcome, thank you for being here. Let us know you're here, say hello in the chat, like and subscribe to however you are watching us here today, because you know what, it matters. It's a communication, and this communication is two-way. It's gonna look like I'm talking to you, but we are in a divine communication where you are also participating. So together we create this holy sanctuary where we are going to celebrate today our resurrection. So last week was Easter. This week it's like, okay, now what? Now what do we do for the rest of the year, right? And I think what I shared about last week, is that we are about the resurrected, ascended life and living that. And so that's what we're up to today, part of our conversation today. And why is it that unity is a place where we can have this conversation? So this is a place where I'm to share something about how unity has impacted my life. And what I can say is I walked into a unity in the mid-90s. And at that point in time, I can see that it was a shifting point for me, where I shifted from a victim level consciousness where I thought life was happening to me. And I learned spiritual principles and tools that shifted that around for me, where I knew I could take responsibility, self-responsibility for my life, and that I was the creator of my experience. And in that has been the difference between hell and heaven, between the state of consciousness of fear and the state of consciousness of love. And so all I said last week is, how do we resurrect? Every moment we take a breath and we dedicate ourselves to choosing only love. And that's what I learned in unity. I learned to focus upon love, to focus upon the resurrection, to focus upon the unity with God, and that from that relationship, everything proceeds. So when we get that right, life works well. And so that's what I got from unity, and how grateful I am for that teaching. And so I loved it so much I never left. And here I am, and it's been a lifelong journey that has just been wonderful. And so I join a community here that has a powerful vision and a powerful mission. And why do we speak this together every Sunday? Why is that important? Doesn't it feel redundant? Well, it's important because it helps us remember why we're connected with one another and why we show up here. And so when we touch that together today, as we will, just right in a moment, we're going to speak the vision, we're going to speak the mission. It unifies us together, and it gets us pointed together in a direction that we all agree upon. And that's powerful, when individuations of spirit agree upon something and move in that direction. That's what we're up to here. So let us speak our vision and our mission as if we've never spoken it before. So we take a breath here, we open the heart and mind, and together we say our vision: a spiritually awakened world living in peace, love, and joy. Take a breath. Shift in your seat. You've spoken something powerful. And then our mission. Our mission. We transform lives that transform the world. Take a breath. Feel that. Wow, I'm so very grateful to be in a community that's up to this. And so now is our time of acknowledging some things that have happened in our community over the past week. I've already mentioned, do we have a couple of look back photographs? We had Easter Sunday. I want to acknowledge all the people that came together to make Easter Sunday not only a celebration in the sanctuary, but on our whole campus, and where our children had safe, fun Easter egg hunt, and the families that came together for that. Our joy jars that we created is really just all of this is an outer representation of the joy and the celebration of living life as an awakened being, and that's what we did last week. So thank you for those who participated in Easter Sunday. And then also honoring our youth is that we had a whole group of kids going off to rally this weekend. I want to acknowledge that team. They're still gone. They'll be coming back sometime today. And I want to acknowledge the adults in the youth program that sponsor that. And we'll hear more about that probably next week. But I understand that what happens in rally stays in rally. So we might not hear a whole lot, but we know wonderful things are happening as our youth of unity rise in their power. When they go to rally, and they are actually creating their own services. It's really a beautiful thing. And so now is our time to pause in prayer. And one of the things that have propelled me in my ministry has been the call to prayer, and unity is founded in prayer. The prayer consciousness of unifying in God consciousness. And so we have individuals who have been called in a specific way to serve this community through prayer. They uphold a consciousness for everything that we do in this community, and they pray with and for our community through individual prayer, which happens in the prayer chapel across the hallway here. They hold vigil during services, and they take prayer requests as well. So I'm going to invite our prayer chaplains who are on duty today to please stand. And as they do so, we know that they're anchoring us in prayer now. And then if there are any other prayer chaplains here, please stand as well. And help us to anchor a prayer consciousness during our invocation prayer. And so I invite the whole community to pause right now, to turn within, that we're all praying in this holy instant. And that when we turn within individually, that we meet in the same place, the heart and mind of God, the heart and mind of all that is, of Creator, of love. And that this love intelligence created, like itself, a whole myriad of extensions of love. And that each of us is that extension of the source itself, divine, holy, Christed beings, in which our oneness with God becomes our divine identity. God is, I am. Consciousness. This is unity. And we take a breath here together as we anchor this oneness. And from this consciousness, together we bless this time. I say that it is good and very good. I say something wonderful and magnificent is happening. I invite and invoke the presence of Spirit to open our minds and hearts such that something drops in this day and we can say, behold, I am made new. That something shifts and we know more fully the grace of God in our lives, in all of our affairs, in our relationships, because love now leads the way. That's what I say is happening here. There is a sense of community, a sense of family, a sense of belonging one to another. and how grateful I am for this remembrance. It is from this consciousness that we bless all of creation, that we bless those who have shuffled off the mortal coil this past week. One of them, the Pope. And we see this divine emanation of spirit free, unlimited, complete in this experience, and one with God. I say that the gifts and blessings of this individuation and all of the individuations of spirit are realized now. I call forth peace that surpasses all human understanding of what may and may not be going on. And I say that we are each charmed with the ability to see beyond experiences and vision, a world that works for all. This is what I know, this is what I claim, and believe it or not, this is the touchstone right now, right here. Say right here, right now. Right here, right now is the touchstone for this happening. For it's already done in the mind of God. That's what we give thanks for. I give thanks that it's already done in the mind of God, and we just awaken to it and allow it to happen. This is what I know and claim. I release this word unto the law. It returns fulfilled. And we take a breath here. And we say, and so it is. Woo, and so it is. Amen. Amen. Ashe. Aho. Take a breath. And so now I invite Lisa up here to do our reading for the day. Thank you.
Good morning, Unity Renaissance. Good morning. So great to see all of your wonderful faces here. And God bless everybody joining us online today. I am pleased to be your platform host. Again, my name is Lisa Smith, and I will be sharing the word of the day. And our word for today is freedom. So please join me in our affirmation. Spiritual living is my path to freedom. Looking back over the years, I remember the ways that I have felt less than free. Maybe I felt limited because of my background or personal history, my education or career, or because of things others believed about me. Without even realizing, I may have taken on a limited view of myself and what was possible for my life. But discovering the truth of myself as a spiritual being, a beloved child of God, has healed my heart and freed my soul. My life's circumstances are only part of my story. I am so much more than the sum total of my experiences. My freedom lies in God and in my understanding of myself as divine. As I grow in confidence, realizing I can change my life through the power of my thoughts, I grow more free. Our scripture verse is from Psalm chapter 119, verse 45. I shall walk at liberty, for I have sought your precepts. And now everyone, please rise and join us for the Lord's Psalm.
Holy Creator, we praise your name. Your will in heaven and earth the same. Supply our needs, Lord, from day to day. Let your forgiveness light our way. Lead us away from temptation's hold. Deliver us, Lord, into your fold. For all the kingdom world to see. You've come so far and you survived. Every moment shaped your fire inside. You're so bold, don't you hide it. The world needs your strength, don't deny it. Hold your head up high and own it. This is your time, you've always known it. You're unstoppable, unshakable, incredible, irreplaceable. Don't you feel it? You're unstoppable, unshakable, you can reach it, unbreakable. You're unstoppable. You're a warrior, your spirit's shining brighter. And through the storms, you stood so tall, never gave up, could have lost it all. You got wings, now go and fly them. Every dream is worth the climbing. All your fears will start to fade when you believe you were born to be great. You're unstoppable, unshakable, incredible, irreplaceable. Don't you feel it? You're unstoppable, unshakable, you can reach it, unbreakable. You're unstoppable. Remember who you've always been. When the road feels rough, let courage in. You're a fighter, you're a spark. You came to light up the dark. You're unstoppable, unshakable, incredible, irreplaceable. Don't you feel it? You're unstoppable, unshakable, you can reach it, unbreakable. You're unstoppable. You're amazing, don't forget it. It's your moment, now go get it. You're unstoppable.
Do you feel that? Are you willing to believe it? Does it make you feel like you're puffing yourself up maybe to do that? No? A little? Yeah. So it's our separated self that puffs itself up. But the aspect of ourselves, the only reality of who we are, that aspect, that oneness in consciousness, in heart and mind with God, God consciousness, can't puff itself up. It already is all that and more. It just is. It's attributed to Marianne Williamson, but it comes from A Course in Miracles. Who are you not to be fabulous? Who are you not to be magnificent? Who are you not to be unstoppable? I would suggest that getting this little piece right here, which requires that we identify ourselves with God as source, that this little piece right here, God first, main thing, the only relationship of value is my relationship with God, the source of my being, that God is the source of everything. And because of that, we can overcome the crucifixions of our lives when we say, it's finished. The drama of the ego, man, it is finished. And into thine hands I commend my spirit. I lose nothing and I gain everything. But most of all, I gain my divine identity, which is the second coming. Easter was last Sunday. Now what? Now the second coming. And it's right here, right now. Jesus is saying, what have y'all been waiting for? You now have me properly identified as way shower. Follow the way. Follow the way. One of the greatest things I got from Unity that I didn't say earlier is that Jesus came off the pedestal for me. Jesus was much more effective in my evolution of consciousness when we walked side by side. Jesus as a teacher was much more effective for me when I understood that we came from the same source. Much more effective for me when it was a brother, a sibling. An example and not an exception, which gave me hope. And the hope and the hopefulness is that I get to walk this way now. And so do we together. Walk this way was the theme of my Camino. And in my Camino, I had a playlist. And one of the songs that we've played here is not Walk This Way, which is Aerosmith. And I always get hung up on that, don't I? Which is a good one. The problem with that song is the only part that's good is walk this way, walk this way. But a closer walk with thee, the old hymn. A closer walk with thee. That was the purpose, the dedication of my Camino walk. And on the eve of taking the first step of the 500 miles, I was in St. John, Pied de Port, which was on the French side of the Pyrenees mountains that I had to cross over, that I really got to cross over. and I stayed there for a couple of days preparing to take the first step. And there is a church, right? It's a walled city, and there's a church, and right outside of the church is the gate that you walk through, and there's a bridge, and that's your first step on the Camino. And inside that church, the day before I left, I went into the church, and there was, on one side, a beautiful, attractive energy. And I went on that side of the church, and there was an altar to Mary. An altar to Mother Mary. And it was bright, and there were flowers, fresh flowers, beautiful, and very tall pillar candles lit. There was a warmth to the light. And I remember sitting there, and there were some things that were troubling me about my trip. Well, primarily, I packed way too much, and I knew it. And so how was I going to get rid of my stuff, right? And an old former Catholic girl sitting in front of Mother Mary, I started chatting with her. and there was a communication, there was a request to help me with the problem I was having. And I left there, walked out the door, and immediately was assisted on where I could lighten my load and release some of my belongings so that I could make this trip. And it was just synchronistic, so beautiful. I was so grateful. And then that night, I slept. And as I prepared to leave to take the actual first step, I went back into the church, and I noticed that there was another altar. It was darker. There were no flowers. There were no candles. And when I sat over there, it was Jesus on a crucifix. And I remember thinking how sad I felt that it was dark, that he was still on the crucifix. Like there was something inside me that just wanted to take him off that crucifix. And that I felt that the law of attraction, just by virtue of the different energies of the two altars, was very different. One seemed dedicated to love and light and beauty, and one to death. And I remember, even though my purpose was a closer walk with thee, which meant my highest self, it could have meant Jesus, it could have meant God, and at various times it meant those things. But it's really a closer walk with the divine identity of who I am. And that sitting there, in the back of my mind, I thought, but there's a part of me that wants my ministry to be about taking him off that cross. To shift our focus from suffering, from blood, from sacrifice, to a rising in love, a rising in consciousness, a releasing of that dynamic so that we can be set free, so he can be set free. Does that make any sense? Does it? Okay, yeah, okay. So that's how I went off and walked. And I shared last week that the dedication of my ministry is to walk the resurrected, ascended life. And what I said to you last week was that the only requirement to do that was to begin to shift and dedicate ourselves to the thought system of love. And the question becomes, how can I be love? How can I extend love? How can I serve love? And that becomes the shift in our practice. I also said that I'm not saying we're not going to have crucifixion experiences, but all they are, if we can understand them properly, is we're in our own mind, we're believing something that is not true about ourselves. Those are the crucifixion experiences. Now, we know that they manifest as the circumstances of our lives that we attract to ourselves. But if our focus is on lack, we tend to experience and reflect that in our lives. And if our religion is about death and suffering, guess what? We're going to attract that into our lives. And guess what? If we are attracting that in our lives, it makes us dependent upon a religion or a source that says you do these things and you can be set free. And that worked for a while for me. But there came a time when that did not work anymore. And one of the things I loved about unity is that it placed God within me and you. And one of the things I loved about unity was that it said I didn't need an intermediary in order to be connected with that which I'm already connected with. And so what I'm calling upon us to do is to release the habit of letting our egos, letting the aspect of ourself that believes in lack and limitation and death and sacrifice as being necessary for salvation. I'm just asking us to let that aspect of ourselves take the back seat for a while and shift our focus upon love and loving thoughts and the best loving thoughts that we can have in each and every moment. You see, Jesus' story and what has been exemplified to us is our journey and evolution of consciousness. The old religiosity was perfect at its time in our human evolution. But we've evolved since then. We've evolved outside of a victim-level consciousness that believes that things are happening to us, that life is happening to us. And what Jesus showed us is that we can rise and remember our divine identity and that God is our source, and that love is what we're here to be and do. Love our brothers and sisters as I have loved you. And that we can begin to shift our focus. A resurrected, ascended lifestyle is a whole lot easier, just gotta say. It's a whole lot easier for us. I'm not saying life sometimes doesn't present challenges. Yes, crucifixions tend to precede resurrections, but if we can begin to default to the mind of God first, we save a lot of time. We just save a lot of time. And so like this idea that what does this mean for our practice? What it means is that we shift, like Jesus did, from the perception or being perceived as a victim of the politic of the day and the dramas of the day to a victor, that he walked into his masterfulness, his mastery, and created a demonstration that may have been misconstrued, but still showed us the way to rise. Still showed us the way to rise above the conditions of the world by letting it go, saying, it's finished, and into thine hands I commend my spirit, meaning I offer all my thoughts, everything to God consciousness, to the altar, to be transmuted and transformed. It means that we move from a complexity of practices and symbolism to a simplicity. This is a very simple part of our teaching. Very simple. So how can I explain this shift? It's from working a practice. I'm going to work my prayers. I'm going to work my affirmations. I'm going to work my denials. And we have to do that because this noggin of ours can be a little thick. And we can be a little stubborn and a little attached to our little ways, right? And so we practice and we repeat. And there's a redundancy in our affirmations and in our prayers. And we do that to break down the holds that the ego has upon us. But there is a tipping point, and we can activate that tipping point by choosing the mind of love first and letting that lead. That's when we walk out of that tomb as the risen Christ. People aren't always going to recognize us. They're going to be, what you mean you're not arguing and fighting with me? What do you mean you love me? What do you mean you accept me just the way I am? We stop resisting where everybody else is at, and we just go within our own. Keep us clean and clear, connected with spirit first. There's a simplicity in this practice. So we work the practice until it gives way to a grace. And we practice, but we begin to release the details of the practice. On Maundy Thursday, I raised this idea of somebody who accomplished this. And it was a 17th century friar, monk. And his name is Brother Lawrence. And he is remembered for a book that is entitled Practicing the Presence. And what he said is that he discovered the secret to living heaven on earth. That's when we all lean in. What might that be? What is the secret? It's not the book that you're thinking or the video. It is this. He says that I learned to just simply practice the presence of God in everything, and that I would talk continuously and lovingly to God always, all the time, without any rules. without any systems, without any rules, without any systems. I abandoned all particular forms of devotion, all particular prayer techniques. My only prayer practice was attention. Where is my attention? Right now. Right now. Where is my attention? I carry on a habitual, silent, and secret conversation with God that fills me with overwhelming joy. He lived life as if only he and God existed, which is really to say, living life as only God exists, which said another way, living life as only love exists. He said, it is not necessary to have great things to do. I turn my little omelet in the pan for the love of God. We practice the presence. Between last week and this week, what's the difference? To the outer world, we're still chopping wood, carrying water. Before enlightenment, what do? We chop wood, we carry water. After enlightenment, what does it look like to the world? We chop wood and we carry water. The only thing that shifts and changes is us, where we place our attention. Simple, simplicity, love or fear. It's truly that simple. So, I got this whole get up here, right? We're going to do Holy Communion. And I had heard that there were people who felt a little uncomfortable with that, and I just want to acknowledge that. I was raised Catholic. But we aren't the only ones who broke bread together and had a practice of doing, something in the outer world to symbolize an inner devotion. And that's what we're doing here today. When I started to walk out on that Camino, this little Catholic girl, or I guess I'm not little, but this Catholic girl got to heal some of the woundedness of the religion in which she was raised. What I have come to learn is that when I feel a reaction within me about anything, including religions, when I feel that reaction within me, it's ever only an indication, a loving nudge for me to heal something within myself. And so, it's kind of funny. Well, what was I thinking? This is a Catholic pilgrimage, right? And so there are every 7 to 10 to 15 miles, there are little towns with churches. And they have pilgrim masses every day for the pilgrims. I went to those all across Spain. And I got the opportunity to really personalize and remember a higher truth of this practice for myself. You see, anybody suffering from any religious woundedness, we have the opportunity to reclaim the nuggets of truth that might have been used in ways that it ought not to have been, for manipulation, for control. I mean, it's all just humans. It's all just reflecting a human evolution. But we have the ability to heal that within ourselves, and I got that opportunity to do that. And the first time this really came to me was healing this idea, because every time as a Catholic girl I would take communion, the practice was to utter these words: Lord, I am not worthy to receive you. Now I understand they have changed that, but I was a little girl that said, Lord, I am not worthy. At least twice a week, because I went to Catholic school. And, so during the week and on Sundays, I uttered those words. And there are things that we must do in that faith in order to be worthy to receive. But I'm saying, in every holy instant, we are worthy to receive the sustenance and the life energy of our Creator. And we get to choose to do that. And so that is one of the healings for me. At one point in my life, being a minister, people transition in my personal life too. I'm present for community when there are transitions, and I facilitate and conduct memorial services. But when it's somebody really close to you, and this is what happened to me, when my mother passed away, I was asked to do the service, and I had to check in with myself. Can I do this? Because my mother and I were very close. I loved her so much. I still love her. She's present right now, right? In consciousness. And so I remember, as I was contemplating this, something dropped in. It was this: do this in memory of me, which is what is uttered in a Catholic Mass when one approaches communion. It's the idea that we do this practice in memory of me. And I was hearing my mother say, do this in memory of me. I'm like, do what in memory of you? And what I got was, love what I have loved in life. Celebrate what I have loved in life. And when you do that, when you love the people I love in my life, or the things I loved in my life, and you do it in memory of me, there I am with you. And so the message to my family and to the people at her memorial service was and to my sisters. What do we do? What did she love? She loved us. So we love one another in memory of her. We love each other as sisters in memory of her. And for me, it was also loving the things that she loved. She loved the sky. Every time I go out and look at the new sky here, I always do this, and I look at the sky. And because that was a practice she did, I could see the beauty in all the different skyscapes wherever I live. And I connect with her in that moment. When I was walking the Camino, I would remember her every time I saw the corn. We went through a lot of agricultural areas. Every time I saw the corn waving in the wind, I would think of my mother. And I would sing. I'm going to sing. I would sing because she loved theater and she could sing. She'd say, the corn is as high as an elephant's eye, and it's going way up to the sky. Oh, what a beautiful morning. Oh, what a beautiful day. Like, that was my mother, except she could sing on key. And she would have a joyfulness upon her face when she sang that. And so I imagine Jesus at the Last Supper saying, do this in memory of me. Love what I have loved. What I get that he loved was his creator. Father, And I had mother, father, mother, because he certainly loved his mother, father, mother, creator. Every time a miracle was attributed to him preceding that, he would pause like we pause, and he would connect with Papa, Abba. Connect with Source. Love the Lord your God with all your heart. Love, love. Do this in memory of me. And the command to love our brothers and sisters as we have loved ourselves. Gotta love yourselves, man. I mean, it's mathematical, those words. Love God, love what I have loved, and love yourself. You're not full of yourself when we do that. And so the idea of communion then became an outer demonstration of an inner commitment that God comes first in my life. Love comes first. It is the source and the sustenance of my being. And when I partake, when I consume of that, it gets broken down by the body and extends out and nourishes the entire body. God first. When I place that first, God first, this consciousness first, it is something that I'm in love with, that it's the only relationship that matters in my life. Because from it, all other relationships come. From it, life is charmed. From it, purpose is clear. From it, resources are attracted to you. From it, harmony happens. From that consciousness, and only that consciousness, can I count on day in and day out. So I partake of this. It becomes a part of me, a part of who I am. And the wine becomes the elixir of life of the Father, Mother presence saying, beloved, don't cut yourself off from me. I am the life force and energy, and I communicate to you, with you, through love, through desire. Follow that lifeline, and it will carry you right to me, face to face. As Paul said, I once saw through a glass darkly, but now I see face to face. That's what this practice means to me today. And so our meditation is actually going to be the communion that you partake of. And I invite us as a community, once we have this experience here, that throughout our week, we pause. Where is my attention? Is love leading? God is my source. And that we, every time we break bread, we think of this. I'm going to invite us to do grace before we eat this whole week, every meal. Just explore it as a practice, as a touchstone. It's silent, sacred. I'm connecting with the source, the sustenance of all that is, and I'm following love, the elixir of life. When we do this as our practice, moment by moment, we discover the secret of heaven on earth. When we do this as our practice, moment by moment, we experience a peace and a joy. We're present. We're just present. This practice is as sacred as you wish it to be. You may participate or not during this period, though. We're holding space for those who are participating. And make no mistake, it's a family affair. This isn't an alone, isolated thing. We break bread and do this in memory of God as source, loving and allowing love to flow through us. As we walk up here, we partake of the bread. There are tongs for the bread. There are grapes representing the wine. There's a chalice that represents if we were to be drinking wine. And you could break the bread off of this one. I also think there's gluten-free bread over here. Doesn't look as good to me, but I think this is the non-gluten-free. And so I'm just going to invite us to pause, turn within, let us have some music. The ushers will help guide, but we partake in a way that feels right for us. It's a self-serve proposition. No intermediary. You and God. You in spirit. You in love. It is finished. Into thine hands I commend my spirit. I am alive. I am awake. I am aware to the presence of God in me and everywhere. God is my source. God is my source. God is source. God and I are one. As I realize this, I realize my divine identity. Arisen, resurrected, ascended. I walk this way. I love this way. The love that pours forth through me as the elixir of life, connecting me with the source of all blesses everyone and everything. Behold, I have made all things new through the renewing of my mind in God as Christ. I have come, I have come, I have come. And I am here, I am here, I am here. And from this, I bless this community as we go forth from here to multiply this consciousness of love. I say thank you, Mother, Father, God, Infinite Spirit, that this is so. And so it is. Amen. Placing the hands before the heart, a little private tryst with Spirit. I have done this in memory of Spirit, holy and divine, and in remembrance of my divine identity. And so it is. And so we take a breath as we breathe in and we breathe out. We begin to open the body eyes, and as we do so, the love of God pours forth through those eyes, blessing all of our brothers and sisters. And so we literally look around, bless one another with a silent blessing, a wink, a nod, some recognition that you know that you sit amidst holy ones. Yeah. So while we do this, we also know God as source as we prepare our offering and our gift. We don't lose a beat here. There's no energetic shift. The energetic shift is that God is the source, sourcing each of us with our generosity, with our giving, such that we are in the flow of multiplying the fishes and the loaves as we bless this community with our gifts, knowing that this community is fully 100% supported by your love, your generosity, your givingness. And why wouldn't we? We're up to wonderful things that transform the world. No greater place to be than here now, at this juncture in the world. And so I'm grateful to be with you. And so together we bless the offering by saying, divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, all that I receive, and I am grateful and joyful.
Give and it's given back to you. Give and it's given back to you. Give and it's given
And so I just invite, if there's anybody who has visited here for the very first time, just to raise your hand. You could stand up. You can say, hey, here I am. But basically what we're saying energetically is that we are so very grateful that you are here. We are blessed by your presence. Those who are new, those who have been here, it is just a joy to be together. And if you do receive the packet, that there's some information and gifts in there for you. And just know that you are loved and appreciated. Thank you so much. And at this time, I'm going to invite Lisa up to do our announcements. Give Lisa an applause. Thank you so much.
All right, well, we've got a lot going on for May. So our first family fellowship meeting is going to be next week, May 2nd, starting at, I believe that says, 5:30. And so we invite families to come, and we'll have activities, games for the kids, and some separate time for the adults to communicate and to share and support each other. You do need to RSVP for that. You can do that online on our website, and there will be food there for you as well. So it is a recommended love offering of $5 per person or $15 per family. And then we have our community forum next Sunday after the service, and you will be able to communicate with our senior minister, Reverend René, as well as our board of trustees to find out what's been going on and what is coming up. And so we welcome everybody to that. You don't have to be a member to come to that, and all are welcome. And that will replace the wrap with the Rev, which we usually do the first Sunday of the month. And then we have our Friday Night Live. Yay, we're finally back with doing the talent shows. I know I have missed that, and so I know we have a lot of different kind of talent out in our community. So we welcome you to come to attend. You don't have to, participate in the talent, but at least come to receive it. But there is a sign-up sheet on the narthex wall. So if you have some kind of talent, poetry or music or whatever it might be, please sign up for that. And if you do need accompaniment, because you want to sing or something, then we will provide that for you. Just make sure you note that. And that is on May 9th, 7 p.m. That's a Friday night, May 9th. And then we have our no child wet behind. So our diaper drive for that, and all sizes are needed, but especially size 5 and 6. So next Sunday, you'll see a bin out in the narthex to put those in, and that will be all the month of May. So you can bring more than one. And then we have Ron Chapman coming back to grace us with his presence, and he'll be doing a workshop, What's Right for Us Right Now. It is a suggested love offering of $30, and that will start at 1 p.m. On May 18th. Thank you. The type is really small back there. All right, so May 18th, please join us after the service to enjoy Ron. And then finally, we have our board member on duty today, which is Jolene. And so she will be available for you to talk to and ask any questions that you have about what's going on here at Unity Renaissance. So with that, we are going to welcome in the children now.
We have our Unikids and Uniteens in here today. Our YOU high schoolers are on their rally. They'll be back this evening. And today we have been talking about Earth Day and the wisdom of nature and how we can take care of Mother Nature. And we also, in lieu of the geese that we have. For those of you who were here last Sunday, we had a goose naming competition. Now, there was a little bit of oversight of the election, and there was some coercion, and so we are trying to have a fair and free election here, and so we talked about that with the kids. So we're doing a recount. And so there is a voting table outside, so each of you guys can pick one popsicle stick for the name that you choose. We've told the kids, you know, we want people to pick the name that they want to pick and not because they don't want to hurt somebody's feelings. So with that, Lucy, could you please announce the names for the goose competition?
The Unitots came up with the names. For the mom is Glitter and the dad is Sparkles. The Unikids came up, for the mom is Karen, and it stands for caring, and the dad is Pro, and that stands for protective. The Uniteens came up with Beyonce and RuPaul. He's a good person, y'all. He's a good drag queen. The YOU came up with Chica and Tank.
All right, so that'll be out on your way out. And I have one more share.
I love you, Daddy Bethany, in the back.
All right, thank you. Oh, okay, and now let us stand for the prayer of protection.
God enfolds us, the power of God protects us, and the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well.